The mechanic's mysterious reward. It was a typical evening at Joe's auto shop. Joe, a hard-working mechanic known for his honesty and skill, was about to call it a day when he noticed a car pulled off to the side of the road, just outside his shop. It was an old sedan, and next to it stood a worried-looking woman, her phone in hand, pacing back and forth. Joe walked over to her. "Having car trouble?" The woman looked relieved and explained that her car had stalled, and she didn't have anyone to call for help. Joe didn't hesitate. He popped the hood and quickly diagnosed the issue: a worn-out alternator. Normally, it would take time to order a replacement part, but Joe had one in his shop that would fit just right. As he worked, he noticed how nervous the woman seemed. She thanked him repeatedly, explaining she was on her way to visit her elderly father in the next town. She seemed almost embarrassed to be in such a bind. After he fixed the car, she insisted on paying, but Joe declined. "Just doing what I can to help," he said. She thanked him again and drove off into the night. The next day, while Joe was at the shop, his phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number, but he answered anyway. "Is this Joe?" a deep voice asked. "Yes, it is. Who's calling?" There was a long pause before the voice continued. "I'm calling on behalf of someone you helped last night. She said she would have been stranded if it weren't for you." Joe was taken aback but simply replied, "Oh, I was glad to help." "How's she doing?" "She made it safely," the voice replied, "but she isn't the only one grateful. Check your bank account." The line went dead. Curious and a little uneasy, Joe immediately checked his bank account. His jaw dropped. An unexpected deposit of $10,000 had been made in his account. There was no sender information, no explanation, just the deposit. That night, Joe couldn't stop thinking about the mysterious caller and the unexpected reward. He hadn't expected anything in return for his help, he simply did what he believed was right. But the incident reminded him that sometimes, when you put kindness out into the world, it comes back in ways you'd never expect. As the days passed, Joe kept an eye out for the woman, hoping to catch a glimpse of her again and understand the story behind the mysterious call. But he never saw her, and he never got another call. All he knew was that one simple act of kindness had changed his life in ways he would never have imagined. And from that day on, Joe kept helping those in need, knowing that sometimes, life had a way of repaying kindness when he least expected it.